Hi there, I'm Sandra Crow, registered holistic nutritionist, and today we're going to make some zucchini banana muffins. These are awesome muffins because they're nut-free, they're oil-free, they are free of refined sugar, free of flour. We're using oats instead of flour, but they are definitely not free of great taste. They're moist and delicious, and especially if you sprinkle a few chocolate chips on top, if you have kids, they're going to gobble them up. Okay, so I've gotten my wet ingredients out. The first thing that we need to do though is to mash up some bananas. I keep bananas always in my freezer because I always have bananas that start to go brown. Nobody wants to eat them, so I peel them, stick them in my freezer. They're great for smoothies, great for baking. So I'm going to defrost some of my bananas so that I can put them in. So let's see what we have for our wet ingredients. Okay, so for our wet ingredients, we want 2 eggs, kind of a little bit beaten, although if you're like me and lazy, you could just toss them in your thing and beat them as you go. A half a cup of maple syrup. You could also use honey or even a combination of both. We're just trying to avoid that refined sugar, right? And then you want 2 to 3 bananas, and it should equal 1 cup mashed. You're going to want to really get all of the lumps out. So I'm actually going to put them in my mixer to get all of the lumps out because I'm kind of a lazy baker. I don't want to sit there and have to mash them out. 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. And the trickiest part, the most work we're going to have, it's going to be our zucchini because we're going to need, it kind of depends on the size of your zucchini, obviously, but you want to end up with 2.5 cups of zucchini. You can peel it if you have kids and they're going to notice the bit of green in it, but always better to leave the peel on it. So I'm not going to peel it before I grate it. Okay, so I'm going to dump my cup of bananas, and as I said, I'm a little lazy. I'm going to use my mixer to get all of those lumps out of it. I'm adding in my 2 eggs, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. I usually just assume the cap is about a teaspoon, and I'm pretty good at guesstimating, and it saves 1 more dish to wash, right? Half a cup of maple syrup or honey. And that goes, they call that liquid gold in Canada, right? Maple syrup. And now here's our hard part, the zucchini. Okay, so you're gonna use the smallest grater that you can because you don't want the big chunks of zucchini. Think of this like a workout for your arms, right? That's what we can say. This is a workout for the arms. Until I get 2.5 cups of zucchini, I gotta keep on going. Okay, so the zucchini is going into the mix. What's nice about this is you don't need to let the zucchini drain. Some recipes, they want you to get all the moisture of the zucchini out. This one, we want it. That's what makes these muffins so moist. And then we'll just give this a little bit of a mix again. All right, wet ingredients are done. Let's move on to our dry. Okay, so what we're gonna need here, we're gonna need 2.5 cups of old-fashioned oats. We're gonna be putting these into a blender to make oat flour. It sounds like really complicated, but it really takes about 30 seconds in your blender. That's about it. So we need 2 teaspoons of baking soda. Oh, wait, don't mix that up. I always do that. 2 teaspoons of baking powder. A half a teaspoon of baking soda. That would be a totally different result if we did that. A half a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of cinnamon. These are our dry ingredients. So I'm going to take my 2.5 cups of old-fashioned oats, put them in my blender. I have a pretty high-powered blender. It's a Vitamix. Love it. And this will probably only take me about 30 seconds to blend these up into think like a flour-like consistency, a fine consistency. If your blender's not as powerful, just keep on going until you get something that resembles flour. All right, in goes our oats, our blended oats. Our 2 teaspoons of baking powder. This is the one I almost messed up on, right? And then we'd have kind of a disastrous muffin. Really important, the difference between those. Some kind of chemical reaction, I don't quite know. But 2 teaspoons of baking powder, half a teaspoon of baking soda. I got it, don't worry, these will work. And a half a teaspoon of salt. I'm using sea salt, but I don't know, you could use just table salt as well. I just like the extra iodine that we get from the sea salt, helps support the thyroid. And cinnamon, if you've seen my other blogs, you know I love cinnamon, and that it's great for insulin levels, antibacterial, antifungal, balances our blood sugar. Stick it in everything you can. Teaspoon of sugar, of cinnamon. And that's our dry ingredients. I'll give it a little stir. Okay, so now I'm just gonna put my dry ingredients into my wet ingredients, give them a quick mix up, and then here's the thing, they've gotta sit for 30 to 60 minutes. We want it to get a lot thicker. We want the oats to absorb the moisture. So not a problem though, I've got some work to do. I'm gonna mix it up, let it sit for an hour, and then come back in an hour and put it into my muffin tins. Okay, so my zucchini batter has been sitting for an hour. I got my work done in the meantime, had a coffee, it's all good. Now I'm ready to put it into my muffin tins and put it in the oven. So I've often mentioned that I love to bake, but I am a lazy baker. So I'm gonna make 6 of my muffins, but then because I just am too lazy to pour it all in, I'm gonna make a loaf as well. So my muffins will go in for 25 to 30 minutes at 350 degrees. The loaf's gonna need a little bit longer. I'm gonna check on it after about 35 minutes. These are really moist. That's what makes them so good, because of the banana and the zucchini. So when you poke your knife or your toothpick into it, you might find that there's still some moistness, should we call it, on it. Take them out, let them sit a little bit longer to make sure that they're cooked all the way through. Although really moist muffins or loaf, fine with me. If you're looking for another healthy muffin recipe, check out at the end of this video, I'll post the link for my chocolate zucchini muffins. These ones are awesome. And again, gluten-free, refined sugar-free, all those kind of things free.